Hello guys, welcome back to ptet.chemistry channel. So in this tutorial video, I'll go through this work 1 on bonding. This is actually a combined science work. So the workload is not as heavy and the number of questions covered are not as extensive as the type covered for the 5070 O Level Chemistry or the I forgot what's the other code for IGCSE Chemistry. I think is I forgot that code, but IGCSE Chemistry Extended as well as O Level Chemistry 5070, they will have covered bonding in greater detail compared to the bonding work 1 as covered for this combined science curriculum. Without further ado, let's get started. So based on the lecture tutorials on ionic bonding, part 1, you will have heard me covering on the ideas of the formation of ions. So we know about atoms where they are not charged. So atoms are uncharged, or we say not charged. So both of them mean the same thing as a result of the number of protons balance out the number of electrons. That's why you have no overall charge for an atom. However, when they form ions, this term attain, it means they want to have the noble gas electronic configuration. So that actually means, what does noble gas configuration means? It means fully occupied or fully filled valence shell. And what does valence shell mean? Valence means the outermost shell. Okay, so they must either lose or gain electrons. And this is the idea. Metal lose electrons to form positive ions. The other name for positive ion is called cations. These are all stated in the syllabus, where candidates are expected to describe how the metal lose electrons to give you cations, as well as non-metals gain electrons. And when you gain electrons, you become anions, which are negatively charged. A lot of students, they get confused between these losing electrons and gaining electrons. I cover all this in the lecture tutorial, and I'll cover a little bit of this as shown here in the example. In terms of counting the protons and the electrons, you know each proton has a relative charge of +1. Each electron has a relative charge of -1. This was in a table, a very frequently asked table for atomic structure back in the previous topic, which of course if you didn't know, you should really go back and review that lesson or that lecture tutorial that I gave as part of atomic structure topical playlist. Now here, this is a sodium. This sodium is actually from the third shell. That's why it's third period. That's why it's called period 3. Period number tells you the number of shell being occupied. 1 shell, 2 shell, 3 shell. The first shell, the second shell, and the third shell. And then you know sodium. Sodium is in group 1. The symbol is Na. So it has got 1 valence electron. And that valence electron is the outermost shell, and that outermost shell is the third shell because that is first shell. You write from the first shell, then comma, because you are filling in a new shell, second shell, and then you fill in maximum 8 electrons in the second shell. Then in your third shell, you only have 1 electrons, and that is not the maximum you can have. But metal like to lose electron, so you just lose this 1 electrons, and you get 2,8, and now you have a positive charge due to atom losing electrons. So the atom will lose electron, it lose 1 electron. That's why you get a +1 charge. If you count the proton, they are the same. Why are they the same? Because they are the same element. Proton number is the identity of the element. So same element means same proton number. Okay, because it's still the same sodium as an element. You don't do anything to the nucleus, you don't do anything to the number of protons, you are just losing electron. Loss of 1 electron become 10 electrons, which has -1 times 10. So now you have more proton than electrons. That's why your charge is a +1. This is called they already written out for you. This is a cation, or you can say a positive charge ion. This is an atom. On the other hand, when you have a non-metal, they will gain electrons Here, these are a period 3 element because there are 3 shells being filled. The first shell, the second shell, and then the third shell. You could get this from this diagram shown. You fill first shell, second shell, and the third shell. And the third shell has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 electrons in the valence shell. So 6 valence electrons would mean group 6. And you can see sulfur as an element. The symbol is S. It's definitely a group 6 element and it's in period 3. Just like before, period number tells you the number of shells being occupied, which is first shell, second shell, third shell. The third shell has only 6 valence electron. It's not completely filled because you are not in the noble gas. You are not in group 8 yet. Okay. You don't do anything to the number of protons. That's why the proton number remains the same because it's the same element. So you don't have to do this working every single time, but you got to appreciate and understand that non-metals, when they gain electrons, you will have more electrons than protons, and electrons have a relative charge of -1 for each electron. When you have 18 electrons, you have -18 versus +16 compared to before where they balance out for an atom. So this is atom. So number of protons equal to number of electrons. That's why atom have no charge. Ion has a charge. Previously, we talked about metal forming positively charged cation. The non-metal form negatively charged anion because you gain electrons. And why would you want to gain? Because for you to lose 6, it costs a lot more energy than for you to gain just 2 more. And we have just used cross here to represent the 2 foreign or the 2 new electrons being added. If you want, you can draw cross for the other one, but you have to draw a dot for the new electrons being added. Essentially, you want to distinguish, you want to differentiate, you want to tell the difference very easily to someone else that these 2 are foreign electron. Foreign meaning they are the new electrons that you have just added. Okay, so now you have a 2- charge because you have more electrons than protons. When you gain electrons, you get a negative charge. When you lose electrons, you get a positive charge. You lose 1 electron, you gain a +1 charge. Okay, you gain 2 electrons, you become a -2 charge. If you are from group 2, you have 2 valence electrons, then you get a 2+ charge. If you are from group 3, you will lose 3 electrons because you have 3 valence electrons, you will have a 3+ charge. If you are from group 5, you have 5 valence electrons, then you will gain 3 instead of gaining 2, you will have a 3- charge. If you are group 6 element, you will gain 2 electrons to get to a fully filled outer shell, then you have a 2- charge. If you are group 7 element, you will have 7 valence electrons, then you gain 1 extra electron to get to a noble gas or a fully filled outer shell, then you just gain 1 electron, therefore you'll have a -1 charge. Okay, so the rest of this tutorial is just basically going through this series of questions. What do they want you to do? They want you to draw the atom structure and then the ion form. They want you to state how many electrons are gained or lost. They want you to write electronic configuration for the atom as well as the ion form, and then write the symbol for the atom and the ion form. Remember, metal lose electrons, metal form cations. Cations are positively charged, all right, and then which means the other thing must be opposite. Non-metal gain electrons, and when non-metals gain electron, they form anion, and when they form anion, well, anions are negatively charged. Okay, so a lot of this come down to experience. So for example, lithium, so I'm going to draw lithium. Lithium is a period 2, group 1, so it's got 2 shells and it's got 1 electrons in the outermost shell. So this is lithium atom and it is 2.1 or 2,1. You loses 1 electron because you only have 1 valence electron. Group 1, 1 valence electron, 1 electron in the outermost shell. You lose your outer shell electrons, then you can get to a fully filled outer shell because now you lose that outer shell. Your outer shell has now just become your first shell, which is just 2, and this is no longer atom, this is Li+, and therefore I have to write like this. Be very careful, don't put a 2 near the bracket. I should really be more careful because if you are careless with where you put the thing, it's very easy to get confused. So this is 2,8, this is 2. I do not want to put a 2 at the bottom because later on you will see formula where this thing can get very confusing if people don't know what they are doing. Okay, let me just rewrite that, and then this is Li plus. So this is atom, this is ion, or you can call it cation because it's positively charged ion. The next thing, magnesium atom. So if you try this magnesium, it's a period 3 group 2, period 3 group 2. So I will have 3 shells, so which means, well, because they are from period 3, so 2 in the first shell, 8 in the second shell. Period 3, the third shell is the outermost. It has 2 electrons in the outermost shell. So what this one is 282. What it does is it will loses 2 electrons because you lose this one and this one. So what you get then is you will get only 2 shells because you lose the outermost shell electrons. Now you have 2 in the first shell, there, and there. Remember, this is an atom, so this is magnesium, this is atom. Now you have magnesium ion. Okay, oops, nope, I don't want that. What you have now is you have magnesium ion, so put the 2 plus up there, and it's called 2 plus because you lose electron, you become a plus charge ion, you form cations, you lose 2 electrons, you form a 2 plus charge cation. Okay, so let me just complete the rest of the information required. This is going to be 2,8, this is Mg2 plus ion. Alright, moving on to the next one, which is also a metal. This is aluminium atom. So a lot of this exercise seems repetitive. Aluminium is a third period element and it's in group 3. So aluminium, big S, small l, 2 in the first shell, 8 electrons in the second shell, and now 3 electrons in the outer shell. This is aluminium atom, so it's 283. This is aluminium atom. What we will do is metal lose the outer shell electrons. So what we will get now is we get cations. We will lose 1, 2, and 3 electrons. When we lose the 3 electrons in the outer shell, all we are left with is the first shell and the second shell, which will just be this, which will just be 2,8, and this is Al3 plus. I should put a 3 plus there. Metal lose electrons to form cations. Cations are positively charged ion. It's a 3 plus because group 3, it has got 3 valence electron. It loses all the outer shell, all the valence electron, loses 3 electrons, therefore 3 plus because your number of proton remain the same. You have lost 3 electrons. This is Al3 plus ion. Okay, I should write properly so that my handwriting is very clear. On to the last 2 questions. Oxygen atom. So oxygen atom, I write O in between, so 2 electrons in the first shell and then 6 electrons in the second shell. Hope you can see that because it's a period 2, so 2 shells being filled with electrons, and it's group 6, so 6 valence electrons. So this is 2, 6. This is oxygen atom, and you want to get to a fully filled outer shell. This is not completely filled, so what you do is you will gain electrons. Non-metal gain electrons. You want it to be fully filled with 8 electrons maximum in the second shell. So what happened then is oops, I think my diagram is not so great there, but it's alright. So I draw the crosses first. I still have the 6 original electrons, which are represented by the crosses in the valence shell. Then I want to show that there are 2 extra new electrons being added. 2 extra electrons being added because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the original, 7 and 8. Now I have 2,8 because now it's a fully filled outer shell. Now this is a 2 minus because I have gained electrons. I form anion. 2 electrons gained, therefore it's 2 minus. So this is all 2 minus ion, or you can call it anion. Okay. To the last question. So we have a nitrogen atom. Nitrogen atom. Nitrogen is in the second period. Is in group 5. So what we have is nitrogen atom. 2 5. Of course, it's a period 2 group 5, so 5 valence electrons, 2 shells being occupied with electrons. You have 5 outer shell electrons. You want to get to a fully filled outer shell, so what you do is you will gain 3, because 5 to get to a 8 you need 3 more electrons. So what we do is we draw and we see. Without drawing, you don't see it. If you just listen to me talking, you will not see it. So what I'll do is I should do another color. I add 1 electron, 2 electrons, 3 electrons. It does not matter where I put the electrons, because at the end of the day the electrons are always moving. All they are needed is you must show different type of representation for the extra electron being added. The position doesn't matter, as long as the dots are the electrons that you're adding go into the valence shell and not the inner shell. It could be dot cross here, dot cross here, dot cross there, does not matter. Electrons are always moving. The thing is, you have gained 3 electrons, so that's why it's a 3 minus charge, and your configuration, how you arrange the electron now is 2, 8, because 2 in the first shell, 8 in the second shell, courtesy of 3 extra electron, 1, 2 and 3 being added to the second and the valence shell. This is then 3 minus ion, or you can call it anion. Alright, that's it for this tutorial video. Quite a simple and direct one. You only get better at this if you start practicing and drawing and doing a couple more practice. Eventually, you need to know all these formulas: N3 minus, O2 minus, Al3 plus, Mg2 plus, Li plus, Na plus. All that you can actually get from the periodic table if you know the meaning of group, if you know the meaning of valence electrons, if you know the meaning of trying to get to a fully filled outer shell. All these things are information that you can get from the periodic table if you know your periodic table very clearly. Just keep in mind, when you lose electrons, you form positive charge ion called cation. When you gain electrons, you form negative charge ion called anion. There's the major confusion among a lot of students. Do it until you're very good at it. Okay, thank you for watching. Follow me at ptet.chemistry, ptet.chemistry on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter if you use this media platform, and just to get connected. All right, so do subscribe to the channel, click the button on the bottom right, and yeah, please share the channel widely with all your friends, your chat and study group, your Discord group, whatever groups you have, your juniors and your seniors from schools, whomever you think this combined science tutorial video, the lecture tutorials and the exercise, or the just the work tutorial is served, they might be useful to you or your friends or other people. So please do share the channel widely. Thank you for watching. See you in the next tutorial video.